Hello and welcome to each and every one of you. Whether you have seen all our previous webinars or none, whether you know where the Sognefjord is or not, we are very pleased and honored to have you with us here today. My name is Benedicte and I am head of B2B sales for the destination company Visit Sognefjord in the Fjord Norway region. As mentioned, we have made numerous webinars on selected themes in order to give you, our hard-working tour operators, the information and the inspiration needed in order to create the best possible future programs here in the King of the Fjords. And today's webinar is all about local food culture. So I hope you're not too hungry, because I can promise you that the next 45 minutes will tickle your taste buds. The webinar will be recorded and sent out in this month's newsletter next week on the same gastronomy theme. So feel free to review it and to share it with your colleagues. As always, there will be an interesting mix of films, presentations and interviews with our local suppliers. And if you have any questions, please do not be afraid to use the chat function and we will answer as we go. There will also be a dedicated Q&A at the end of the session, so write down any thoughts or questions along the way. So let's kick it off with an intro of what you can expect in our region. Okay, so here is the highlights and what we have planned to give you a closer insight into today. So we have some fantastic accommodation with local food focus. We have Norway's oldest hotel that this year is featured in the 2024 Michelin Hotel Guide, which we're very proud of. We have something we call From Fjord to Table, which is the experience that you could go fishing your own lunch or dinner. We have cider, our liquid gold as we call it. We have cider cruises and tastings in local farms. We also have cheese tastings and pairings, and we have beer tasting. So let's have a closer look. When it comes to food and drink in Norway and the Sognefjord alike, a culinary revolution has been quietly taking place over the last few years. Restaurants and ordinary kitchens have seen a dramatic rise in local and organic food thanks to the demand of the consumers. What really characterizes Norwegian cooking is largely found in our rather, unique agricultural customs, where the sheep, the cows and the goats alike, they graze freely along the coast and in our mountains. More so in the fjords than anywhere else, as our rugged landscapes make other farming near impossible. And when animals are able to move freely, eat plants and herbs instead of artificial power food and being given growth hormones and antibiotics, you will find that the meat and the produce takes on a new dimension of taste and consistency. gathering the sheep from the mountains that you can see here is a great, it's a Norwegian customs and a tradition that we call sauesank, and one that your visitors may join in on. Laila at Kultur på fatet, or Culture on a Plate in English, as you can see here in the photo, she will help you with amazing dinners at local farms or summer pastures in the mountains. You can herd the sheep, as I said, and you can hike the Aurland Valley while getting an insight into how local traditions and culture is kept in a world that is spinning faster and faster. With Laila, you can enjoy the slow food and the slow pace of life in one with nature. Our cold climate and unpolluted land is ideal for slow-growing vegetables, fruit and berries without the extensive use of pesticides. And as you can see from the photo here, even as far north as we are here in Norway, we have microclimates between our mountains, allowing us to grow apricots and peaches and cherries that you wouldn't expect so far north. Small farms keep producing milk, cheese and meat in the traditional way. And the healthy environments and virtually disease-free and subject to strict regulation when it comes to animal welfare. And as you know, happy animals make the best produce. But enough talking. Now I would like to show you 2 hotels with a unique focus on the local produce and a high-quality cuisine. And what more, they are both located in the innermost part of the Sognefjord, the Lustrafjord.
Welcome to Valaker Hotel and the Sognefjord. Please, would you like to join in? My name is Ole Henrik Nitter Valaker and I represent the 9th generation in my family who is running this place. It has been run since 1640. We have only individual guests and they like to stay here for 2-3 nights, and we have a wonderful restaurant and the breakfast is amazing. You're most welcome.
Welcome to Vesterbakken, and I hope you will enjoy a stay with us. We try to give you an experience for your senses, and if you want, you can come with me and look at some of our gardens. Today we are serving haddock from the neighbor village, Førde, and we have also been to the garden and we have picked some greens. It's bush cabbage, it's asparagus, and it's green cabbage that's crispy now, and there is a very nice flower called Nathan Day. So I really hope you will come and enjoy it.
Okay, so are you getting hungry yet? So to make sure your guests eat well, book them into any of the 2 hotels just featured. I have to recommend Vesterbakken with their 7 fruit and vegetable gardens. They are open all year and they have a special focus on tailor-making a range of local activities, also when it comes to food for your guests. I also have to add that Ole Henrik was too shy to mention that his hotel, Valaker, that, by the way, just opened 4 more modern rooms in Villa Valaker this summer, is also featured, as I mentioned in the start, in the 2024 Michelin Hotel Guide as a part of Tablet Hotels, Michelin Guide for Official Hotel Selection. And this is based not only on food, but the atmosphere, the service, the history, and the customer satisfaction. So we are super proud to have Norway's oldest hotel on this exclusive list. So if you have not been to see Valaker Hotel, go or get in touch with us. It is very much worth a visit. It is featured in this list as a traditional quiet elegance And even though they keep closed this time of the year, COO Åsmund welcomed us with open arms to answer a few questions regarding this feature in the tablet hotels and the Michelin Hotel Guide.
First of all, foremost, we appreciated being mentioned in the tablets. Of course, this was a great honor, but then again, there's also a great responsibility. This was not something that we worked specifically for, but then again, we also do feel that we are trying our best every day to give each guest traveling here to Valaker Hotel the best experience possible. It was actually a funny story there. One of the way I understood is one of the leaders of tablets were actually traveling in Norway back in 2020, or was it 2021? And one of them stayed here at Valaker Hotel, and then during their stay here at Valaker, they contacted Ole Henrik and asked if we would like to be part of tablets. Here at Valaker Hotel, we pride ourselves on using as much as possible from the local market. I don't know how many times I got asked the question, where do you get these locally produced products? Are they really local, or is it just something you say to advertise it? But I tell them that the apples are produced here in Solvon. Burton Farm is just on the other side of the mountain here. Every farmer here in this part of Norway, every fruit producer, they are really giving their 100% when they're producing what they're giving us. And that way, we know what quality we are receiving, we know what we're going to use it for, and it just fits in the bigger picture at what we are trying to offer our guests here at Valaker Hotel.
A wonderful historical hotel there, well worthy of their great achievements. But the Lustrafjord has even more food-focused accommodation to offer. Let's travel all the way in to the innermost part of the Lustrafjord, to Skjolden Hotel. When it comes to Skjolden Hotel, they have already planned well for the 2025 season, and we are very proud to announce that their new chef, Kristoffer, is on the Norwegian national chefs team. They are also celebrating 10 years as owners and hosts here in the Sognefjord, so expect great things from Skjolden Hotel next year. But let's have a closer look at a film. And by the way, the people in the film you will recognize throughout the webinar, as we had a large TV production here called People of the North. And they've been in our region filming, and look out for it. People of the North. It will soon air in a number of countries.
At the innermost point of Sognefjorden, at the foot of the mighty mountains, we arrive at our final destination today, the spectacular green gardens of Skjolden Hotel.
Siri, what are you doing here in Skjolden?
My husband and I, we bought this property, the hotel, in 2015. We are developing the property and the kitchen and the garden and living our life.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
I'm impressed. And here we are, standing in your garden, picking raspberries from plants which you planted yourself.
Yes.
Just only last year.
Indeed, yes, I did.
Wonderful. And you pick berries from your own garden, but you also use other farmers around for
Yes.
supplying the kitchen.
We do. Every autumn we plan for the next season, how much and what kind of animals we would like to serve in the cooking. So we have goat, we have veal, we have ox, we have pork, of course.
Now also cheese.
And of course the cheese, the
Local
delicious
cheese.
goat cheese,
Yeah.
yes, from one of the farmers, yes. So we are very, very happy about the suppliers in the area.
Wonderful.
Yeah. We're having the root beer tart with the goat cheese on top and also flowers from the garden. And then we have the pork belly, also from Andreas's farm, with the apple puree, the Jerusalem artichokes and the potato spiral. So enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At the end of the garden, this is where the Sognefjord ends.
It is.
We're actually managed to come all the way into the longest inhabited fjord in the world.
In the world.
And you get this kind of fantastic food. And we managed well without Frida.
I would say so,
Not exactly the same, but
good.
good. She did good.
Thank you.
So, our extensive coastline and fjord systems here in Norway gives us long and rich seafood traditions. In many villages you can rent fishing equipment and even boats. You can fish for salmon and trout in our rivers, mountain trout in our mountain lakes, and for a variety of fish with normal or deep sea fishing in the fjord. Did you know that the fjord is more than 1,300 meters deep? You can catch some right creatures down there. However, remember to buy a fishing card where needed. You can find more info around this on our website. I would like to highlight a few companies that are especially good when it comes to fishing. Kvam Guiding in Hafslo, Vik Adventure in Vik, and Dripp Fiske in Balestrand for their guided fishing trips adapted to each and every guest, from fly fishing courses to fishing the depths of the Sognefjord. And in close collaboration with the local hotels, you are able to get your fish professionally prepared for the freshest seafood experience you've ever experienced. So let's have a closer look at the charming Fjærland Fjordstove Hotel and how they handle the catch of the day.
Sigrid and I have been busy exploring Fjærland, so we don't know what the catch was when you guys went out fishing.
Well, a little bit this and a little bit that, some crayfish and tusk.
Okay.
Real local tusk, the Kelly's.
So you have a tusk on your plate with a flat fish, and you have polenta with sauce hollandaise, langoustine chips on the side, ratatouille, and some nice tomato foam and some tomato confit. So all of this is made based on what you got on the fjord.
But they just came in a little while ago, so you managed to do all of this?
Yes, if somebody comes with fish or the chef catches something, this is what we do. It doesn't get any more local and any more fresh in this. Enjoy the food.
Oh, thank you, Ina.
Thank you.
I think well done by the chef and also partly well done by the fishermen.
Of course.
The hard work to instill pride in every level of the food chain has really paid off. New small-scale producers of cheese, honey, pastries, cider, ecologically produced meats, among other things, are popping up all along our fjord arms. Not to mention the microbreweries and the cider, yeah, even wine producers are making the most of our climate. We will come back to exactly this a bit later in the webinar. Since Norway is among the world's top 3 coffee-consuming countries, it is no surprise that we are constantly trying to brew the best coffees on the planet. So I can recommend, when in Sogndal, try the freshly brewed coffee from Sognefjord Kaffebrenneri. At the same time, Norwegian chefs have obtained formidable international reputation. And I don't think most people know this, but Norway is the most awarded country in the history of the international cooking competition Bocuse d'Or. It's quite amazing, right? Anyway, in the Sognefjord, we do not have the Michelin star restaurants, but we do have the producers delivering some wonderful fresh produce to them. Most of you know our region as an adventure destination, where biking, hiking, kayaking and other outdoor activities often has your guests out all day. So how can you ensure that they get to eat well and get to taste the local food traditions when out? Well, at Stolpen, on the main road past Hafslo, you can order a range of takeaway meals and lunch packs. With fresh bread, smoked salmon, local goat cheese and meat, as well as local fruit juices, I recommend your guests to pick up their lunch on the way to glacier experiences in the Jostedal National Park, or if they want to hike Molden with the most beautiful views in Luster. And then there is our cider, our liquid gold. Like I mentioned before, the mild climate and the unique soil of the Sognefjord provide the perfect conditions of growing fruit and berries. And from many sorts of apples, we make these ciders, and new farms are opening up for tourism and cider tasting all the time. We even have a cider cruise and multiple award-winning ciders in international competitions. But it all started a long time ago. It's a fun fact that a total of 54 apples were found in the Queen's grave during the excavations of the Viking ship Oseberg. References are also made to apple orchards in the Icelandic sagas, and the ancient Norwegian fruit was considered so valuable that stealing another man's apple was considered a punishable offense. We find the first written accounts of growing fruit in Norway from Vik, here in the Sognefjord. And now we will just take the boat straight across to the other side, to Balestrand, and visit the Pioneer, the cider house, and their organic fruit orchard, boasting more than 100 varieties of apples, and also berries that they use to flavor their many ciders. Let's have a look.
Cider house is a real family business. It's the 5th generation growing up now, and we are building on traditions. This used to be an artist colony in Balestrand. It's been guests in Balestrand for 200 years. We receive people for cider tasting and for heritage walks, and also this after ski. And we are really international still, because of course, my daughter-in-law, she comes from Turkey, so she's mixing the Mediterranean cooking with the Norwegian ingredients.
Amazing food there.
And we also have imported cider apple varieties from France and from England. So we really think that the cider, if it should match with food, it has to be different flavors and different styles of cider. That's important for us.
So the apples are grown here from the Viking times, and we are producing one of the best apples in Norway. And all these apples are used in our ciders. We also have
brandy.
And we also have cider apples and a lot of aromatic apples here, which is blended in our all kind of ciders. So if you want to taste, you have to come here because we're open.
Oh, nej. You wake them up. They like this melody. The waves from the song will make the bread
mature, much better.
Et spes nostra a te clamamus, exules
We like to believe that cider is the Norwegian wine. That's why we produce different styles of cider.
Cheers. Cheers.
For a nice trip.
I'm getting really proud of this being my home area. First up there with the mountains and the fjord and that view, and then coming down here with these people who is so enthusiastic and use local fruits, local ingredients to make this.
It's not only Sigrid that gets proud, I get very proud of these films to see it as well. But now the thirst is kicking in as well, right? On top of these wonderful food and drink activities in Balestrand, we also have some great options in Sogndal. You can join an historic Viking battle cruise from Sogndal all through the summer, followed by a great farm experience at Odelsgut, where you can broaden your horizon, both in Norwegian history, in Norwegian cider. You can see what it's like to be a cider producer in Norway's oldest fruit district. In about 2 hours, you will get an insight into fruit growing, cider production, and hear more about the family's farm's impressive history, going all the way back to 1184, which is an important year in Norwegian history, where we had the Viking Battle of Fimreite. It was the bloodiest battle in Norwegian history between King Magnus and the new King Sverre. You will get to taste different award-winning ciders and fruit wines from Odelsgut, award-winning both, as well as something light to eat. And of course, we have the alcohol-free versions as well for the children, or the ones that prefer that. The season is June to August, so make sure, well, for your summer programs to add Odelsgut and the cider cruise. You can see more photos here. And what is also possible is to bike in one direction. So you can rent electric bikes, bike out to the cider farm, have the cider tasting, and then go back with the boat. Ølmheim Fruit Farm has been in the same family for over 300 years. Located a mere 10-minute drive outside of Sogndal. Here you can join a cider tasting and a tour of the apple orchard, the cider cellar and the production facilities. 1.5 hours of great atmosphere, insight into cider production, and of course delicious flavors. They offer a taste of 3 different ciders and finish the tasting with their signature cocktail. The farm and the farm shop is open 6 days a week, so you can come and experience all this every day but Sunday. You can also find, and visitors find this very amusing, you can find a self-service fridge filled with the non-alcoholic apple juice and, in the season, fruits from the farm. Because in Norway we trust each other and we trust our visitors. So you can pay and you can take what you want. And it's open 24 hours. At Ølmheim, they have capacity of bus groups as well, so it's good to know that you can book large or small tours and tastings. And you know what goes really well with cider? Cheese. Let's have a look here.
I prepared a picnic for us. Thing is, we have something called Gamalost, and Gamalost essentially means old cheese, which it isn't, but it is called so because it comes from the Viking times, the recipe. As a kid, my dad always forced me to eat Gamalost, and I hated it. I was crying, "Dad, please, not the Gamalost." But today I love it actually, and with sour cream and some lingonberry, it's beautiful. And you're gonna get old. Actually, Grandpa we had to shoot because he got that old from eating Gamalost. So you really need to come taste this. It's delicious.
I'm Anne-Karin, and I'm a farmer here in Stjørdal together with my husband Harald, who grew up in this area, grew up on this farm, and I just came along. And on this farm we have an unbroken tradition of summer farming and cheese making. So we make the famous brown cheese, which is our signature product.
I get really proud of my mom who do this whole thing because it takes a lot of work. It makes me kind of proud to say, oh, I live here, I can do this every day. My name is Sigrid and I grew up in Aurland. We know that there have been people living on the farm from our family at least for 200, 300, 400 years. We know there have been people living there since the Viking Age, but we don't know how far back we are related. But our family have been living there for many hundred years. The way the life on the farm hasn't changed much really since like forever, because some things you do in the same way always. Like for example the cheese making, which has always been a very strong tradition. They're trying to do what our great parents have been doing for many, many years, but like keep it in a way so that we can actually live on it today as well.
Isn't that one of the most charming places you've ever seen? I love hiking up to Lime and Stjørdal in the summertime, and I hope you will get to experience it for yourself or your guests as well. But in Flåm, you can experience cheesy activities all year. With the local family business Fjord Safari, you can combine speed and fun, UNESCO nature and local cheese tasting. Whether you pick their afternoon taste tours during the summer or their heritage tours during the winter, you will get to experience the local cheese. In the winter, you will walk ashore in the charming village of Undredal to taste the Norwegian traditional brown cheese. Matured goat cheese and soft cheese together with traditional flatbread, cloudberry jam, goat meat and more. They have tours all year around actually, stopping in the village of Undredal. And during the summer, your active guests can combine a rib tour with a hike to Anne-Karin and the summer pasture that you just saw in the film in Stjørdal, just outside of Aurland. Lunch is included, and both the cheese, the herbs and the apple juice is grown there on the farm. And of course you get to meet the goats. Very friendly goats. From the producers, we jump back to the local suppliers making even more wonderful, complex meals with our produce. With a close collaboration to local producers, Norway's Best present you with a local, seasonal and ever-changing 8-course menu. Their wish is to connect your guests with the individuals who live here, to tell their stories, our local food history and our food culture. It is an educational and social dining experience, one that of course can be privatized on request. You don't have to travel far, as the next local food experience, as well as guest, are to be had in Flåm. Let's have a look.
Hi, Bjarte.
Hi.
I hear that here at Fredheim you have afterbike for sporty guys like us.
That is correct. That is very important after a trip like that.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit of a snack. So we made a little bit of oyster mayonnaise with a little bit of potato chips, and then we have some rogn caviar on it. Well, actually, we have a lot.
This is quite a meeting with the Sognefjord
Yes,
Stig.
it is. This is two of the things I love most in the world.
What's the other thing?
Gin.
This looks like lamb.
It looks like lamb, but it's not lamb. This is actually goat.
Oh, we saw them.
Yeah.
We met them.
A lot of them.
They are very friendly in this district.
Very friendly.
They are very friendly.
Like the people.
Yes, exactly. We're gonna make a tartar of it. Yeah.
We should try some of the local cider with this.
Yeah.
You think that's a good choice, Stig?
Yeah, I believe so.
Enjoy.
This is more like a rougher afterbike kind of tartar.
And it works well with this one.
Yeah, goes well with the cider.
But I love the combination of the umami from the...
I love just getting here through this valley and then having flavors like this. It's quite unique. Thank you so much, Bjarte.
It's my pleasure.
We're going to come back.
Yeah.
We will.
Definitely have to come back. Bye, guys.
Hi and welcome to Flåmsbrygga and Aggie Brew Pub. Flåmsbrygga is a cluster of buildings where we have Flåmsbrygga Hotel with 41 rooms and conference facilities, Flåmsnova restaurant and Furukro Coffee and Aggie Brew Pub. The name Aggie comes from Norse mythology, and Aggie was the ruler of the ocean. And according to Thor, he was the best brewmaster because he had a brewing kettle which was 1 mile deep. And when he had his feast, the drinking horn was floating magically around in the hall, and the plates of food were never empty. So welcome to our brew pub, where it's all about Aggie beers and other flavors and Viking-inspired menus.
1, 2, 1, 2, ready, kick it.
So, beautiful experiences, food culture in Flåm and Outland. As you could see from the previous film, local beer tasting is available daily for FITs in the tourist magnet of Flåm. If you, however, have groups that prefer more peace and quiet and off the beaten track, with an array of outdoor activities, Årdal might be your place. In Årdal, the small village, you can go hiking, kayaking, and end your day with a local beer tasting in front of the fireplace in the cozy Eldstovo at Klingenberg Hotel. They have a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 30 guests in the tasting room, that is. And from Årdal, you have daily bus connections to Oslo Airport and Oslo City Centre with the Valdres Express from JVB. So we have many options with local transport in our area. It is so many of our great suppliers that I could have shown you here today, as our region really is a chest of culinary treasures. However, I hope you have gotten a slightly better insight into what we can offer when it comes to local gastronomy, and that you've been inspired to sell this region, not only based on our natural beauty, but also as a food destination. I would like to round it off with a photo from the boutique hotel 292 Outland and their new beautiful restaurant. It has a capacity that is far greater than the 8 rooms that they now have on site, so remember this for all your high-end stays in the Flåm and Outland region. They are self-sufficient from their own vegetable garden, and if you speak to their gardener, you may very well be asked to join in picking the vegetables for dinner, the fruit and berries for the dessert, or the flowers for the table decorations, because they want everything to be local. It is personal, authentic, and memorable. And with that, I would like to open up for questions. Was something unclear? Are you in need of more details? Maybe the logistics on how to get there? Any questions, you write in the chat and I will answer the best I can. And for the ones leaving us now, I would like to say a big thank you for joining. And if you have any themes that you would like us to make a webinar on, a segment, it could be a season, whatever your focus is, please let me know. It is also through constructive criticism that we can improve and get better. So if you can think of any way to make these webinars more interesting, more interactive or other, please drop me a line. And my details you can see here. So thank you for your attention, and may I also thank you for all the hard work that you put into selling and promoting our region, and wish you a wonderful, wonderful holiday season here from our entire team at Visit Sognefjord.